When I mention the Pokemon community, you might think, oh, sunshine and rainbows, and overall chill, right? Well, sadly, that's not the case. And the more I spend time and observe this community, the more I'm aware of its toxicity. But the sad thing is, toxicity is everywhere. Every single community, no matter how big or small, it always seems to have toxic people. It's like it's almost mandatory to have them. They're like a respawning goblin that you can't get rid of in an RPG. Although toxicity is widespread and very common, when it's brought up in an innocent community, the damage that is being dealt is far more than a place where toxicity is common. And this has been the case for the Pokemon community. At the start of YouTube, Pokemon was overall just a niche. There was realistically no room for toxic people. I'm not saying there was never toxic people to begin with. As I mentioned before, toxic people like to sneak themselves in and anywhere whenever you open the door. Now the sad thing is, the toxicity that is in the Pokemon community isn't just toxic. It's the overwhelming ideal that they can't be wrong. Your opinion is trash because it does not coincide in the stereotypical norms. The scariest part of it all is that no matter what you say, it will not suffice with them. No matter if they're straight up incorrect, they keep on believing the same lie over and over again. It's the lack of respect. Sadly, we went to an age where it's not how good your argument is or how much evidence you bring to the table, it's whoever comes up with the biggest passive-aggressive remark or whoever roasts the other person the best. Nowadays, that's called winning. No evidence, no argument, and no respect. I usually don't do these videos. I usually do videos about scammers, different topics, and I give my input on it. And this isn't really any different. This is something that's been on my mind, and usually when something is on my mind, I like to share it. Now, what made me do this video? And to that I say, surprisingly hate comments. Now, I want you to open your ear for a sec. I am not affected by any hate that is brought to me. Whenever I post a video, I'm prepared for the worst because I do controversial content. In fact, I hope people disagree with me because in the end, that just makes the truth more rich. And I want to make myself clear. Under no circumstances does hate remotely bother me. In fact, it never did. Even when I first started this channel, I knew what I was getting myself into, and I knew the circumstances. Whenever I get hate, it actually makes me happy to see the other's point of view. Now, sadly, do their point come across? Well, most of the time, no. And that's what I want to talk about. See, the most hate comments I get is whenever I post a little spicy video about Leonard. Now, the Leonard situation is a prime example of toxicity. It's no secret that he is losing fans because of the certain actions he keeps on doing. Now, he still has an enormous following that still supports him. And that isn't really a problem. What is a real problem is the total disregard to facts. Here's a few.
You're not famous until you have haters. Keep pumping these ridiculous videos, LOL. This is 100% clickbait. Crazy bro downplays on him simply saying he has anxiety. This video is not good. He did nothing wrong. A mystery box is always a gamble. And obviously the people supporting this video didn't win. Otherwise you wouldn't hear about it. LMAO. This was a whole bunch of nothing. Shaking my head. Clickbait. Bro's trying so hard to get views.
Bro, what's with these skull emojis? Now, if you look, you will see some sort of pattern here. No argument, no proof, just toxicity. As I mentioned before, nowadays it's not how much evidence or how good your argument is, it's whoever can do the better I gotcha moment. Now see, I refuse to reply to any of these comments, because at the end of the day, I won't be able to change their mind. I refuse to partake in an endless battle of toxicity and arguing. In the end, it only ruins both people's days. But very rarely, you can come across someone who is open-minded. But to say it's rare would be an understatement. It's almost non-existent. Because to change someone's mind isn't to tell them they're wrong. The best way is for them to experience it themselves. Because at the end of the day, an opinion remains an opinion until you change your own mind. The reason I'm not harsh on all these comments and the reason I don't really get triggered by them is, well, I know what they're coming from. Because I too was in their position. It might come across as a shock to most of you, but I actually was quite a Leonard fan back in the day. I used to comment on every single video of his, and I only had respect for him. And I relate to all these comments so much because I did the same exact thing they're doing. Back when Leonard did the pop-up shop, there was a fellow YouTuber who did a video about them, saying that the event was a disaster and saying it wasn't fun at all. And it was horribly mismanaged. And you know what I did? I defended him with full force. I thought of every possible way to keep on defending him. And this experience really stuck with me because it showed me how it is possible to change an opinion. Although it took very long, I finally realized why that person was so upset. Just to give you perspective, it took me over a year to come to this conclusion. So that's why I'm not mad, or sad, or disappointed at these comments. Because their opinion won't change overnight. It's a slow process, and in the end, at some point, they will finally figure it out. Toxicity can be healed over time, with a change of perspective. That's why I highly urge everyone to give a moment and look at someone else's perspective. Because at the end of the day, we have freedom of speech. Not all opinions that are opposing yours are wrong, and that's something I myself always keep in the back of my mind. Because as there is a chance of someone changing their opinion, there's also an equal chance of me changing my opinion. Respecting someone else's belief isn't something that should be earned. It's something that should be there from the very start regardless. Now, for me to end off this video like this would leave a bad taste in my mouth. Because I know there are people who are still joining the Pokemon community. And when they look at this, they will be afraid and discouraged. So I want to say something to the new and to the old community. This community is something that is more amazing than I can describe. I wouldn't be in any other community other than this. I wouldn't switch places with Mr. Beast, even if I had the chance to. There are so many incredibly kind and amazing people in this hobby. People that supported me personally as well. Opossum Bud, amazing content, amazing channel, looks out for everyone in the community by warning you about scummy behavior. I watch his videos like candy. I can't get enough of it. Cool Trainer Ryan, my sensei, my senpai. Words cannot describe how incredibly amazing this dude is. He is someone I've looked up for so long. His personality always cracks me up, and one thing I can say for certain, no matter how big he gets, he will always be the same humble guy we know today. Dustymon, my dude, such an underrated guy. The content he puts out deserves hundreds of thousands of views. And come on, man, this guy has such an outgoing personality, and he's not afraid to speak his opinion. Got nothing but the utmost respect for this dude. AJ Correa, someone I've personally known for such a long time. Even with his big subscriber count, he's always been humble from the very beginning. And still is. I experienced his generosity too. He gives back so much and expects nothing in return. Pokeballer's another person that specializes in shorts, and he's been supporting me for a hot minute. His content often has him giving back to the community, and he has such a positive attitude towards things, and that's one of the main keys why he's so popular. Another one of my homies, just such an awesome guy. Retro, his content is so unique and every bit of success is 100% deserved. I was honestly surprised to find out he was even watching me, and I'm honestly so grateful that he enjoys my content. And his content, man, it's so good. GTC Cars and Vision Games Pokemon, one of my close friends. They've been supporting me since I started my channel, and they're just amazing. I couldn't ask for any better friends. OK J-Love. My man deserves so much more subscribers from the high quality content he does. His persona is so genuine. And again, he is not afraid to speak his mind. And man, he is handsome. No homo though. You mean with homo, right? Shut up, Kyle. There's so many people I can go on and on about. Pokerev, the GOAT. Pokeburst, Pokevault, Primal Cards, Pokemaster Dev, Pokediz, Pokeballer Mike, Deep Pocket Monster, Enlisted Leaf, Pokedama. Big shout out to that guy. Seismic Shock TV, PokeClaymon, Frank Does TCG. I can be here all day naming every single amazing content creator I know. And this is just a mere fraction of how many amazing people there are in this Pokemon community. And if you are new, please remember that you are welcome, no matter what your opinions are. Because at the end of the day, Pokemon isn't just about making money or getting famous. Pokemon is meant to make friends and make a lot of memories.